Hi again guys, I'm back with another unboxing from my latest order from cubezz.com, Cubezz. This is the next one out of the box. This is, if I can nip the bag open, one of the Bermuda cubes, the Bermuda house cube. So right off the bat, it looks a lot like the Bermuda Mercury puzzle, because you've only got one of the triangle pieces. What happens with these puzzles is you got these triangular pieces which cause bandaging, and you end up with different edges and corner pieces. Now, is this the kind of Fisher style turn? Let's see. Yeah, the very early ones weren't. They turned normally. Oh, actually, it might be. Let's see. It does, it turns around the centrepiece. It doesn't. Most of these puzzles turn around these edge pieces. These are actually the centres, but on this one it's actually the ones that look like centres that are the centres. So that's different straight away from the Mercury actually. And really it's just a shape mod of a Bermuda cube. They've just put some different pieces into it to make it look like a house shape, which is quite cool. I think this is the house 2 it said, if I remember right. But since I didn't own this one, and as I've said many times, I am a collector. The turning quality isn't great right now. I've had this problem on a couple of these before. There's a lot of excess flashing remaining on the pieces, so I will have to disassemble it and remove that before I scramble and solve it. So I'll do that and then record a little bit more of this video. I'll just show you what happens with the triangle. I kind of got way late. So this triangle is the centerpiece, this large triangle here. So of course, if normally I'm going to turn this side here like this, when the triangle's in that position, I can no longer turn that side. So there's only actually 3 positions around this face that I can turn. One there, and one there, as opposed to a regular cube where there's obviously 4. So that alters the solving process, makes things a little bit more difficult, as bandaging does, which is essentially what this is. It's kind of a bandage puzzle, even though it's not actually putting pieces together. And the other thing is you end up with a different number of each piece type on the same face, whereas I can see right now I've got one. These small triangles will be corner pieces, the kind of pointed pieces, and these are edge pieces for a mega cube. So you can see, if you count, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 corner pieces in one layer. So yeah, it works. Things work a bit differently than they do on a regular cube, and it's a very, very interesting series of puzzles. Even though, as I said, the flashing problem I've had on a couple of the other ones that I've had to remove, and I can feel that this has definitely got the same issue going on. I can feel the pieces grinding together as I turn, and right there you've got, it actually feels like it's going to pop on a catch on that flashing. So what I'll do, I'll go away and remove that now. Let me just see if I can actually maybe show you what some of the problem is, if I can just pop it apart. There isn't actually any on that one. Or that one. I wonder if I'm not going to find any on this. But yeah, basically it's little lumps of plastic that are left over from the moulding process on the pieces. It sticks out and catches on other pieces. So I'm sure there must be some in there, because I can feel it catching. So I'll take it apart, I'll remove that, and then I'll get back to you once I've done that. Alright, so I'm back from doing that. As it turned out, there was only actually a couple of the little triangle pieces that had any real flashing left on. There were a couple of us that had some tiny amounts left on. You could see where they've tried to file it off in the factory, but haven't done a very thorough job. And I doubt they would have made any difference anyway, but while I was there I did those as well. But it's been less than 5 minutes that I've spent doing this, and it's improved it dramatically. So those couple of little pieces of flashing have definitely made a difference after their removal. So if you get one of these series of puzzles and you have some problems with the turning, then just do that and take those apart and remove that flashing, and it will improve the turning no end. So anyway, a couple of little things I've noticed while I was assembling this, and after taking that flashing off. You've got some identical pieces, like this white and red triangle and this white and red triangle, and the same on the yellow face. So that's going to introduce the possibility of some parity type situations in the form of false equivalency, which is going to add a little bit of interest to this over the regular Mercury cube Bermuda Cube version of these puzzles. And also, as I was saying, they turn around what look like centres, but of course the house roof section doesn't. That turns around what would normally be considered an edge. So you can see that which is actually like a Fisher cube type centerpiece, which is what a lot of the pieces are on these puzzles. They come from their equivalent pieces on Fisher cubes. But yeah, I will get this scrambled and go away and solve it. It's a fun little puzzle, the Mercury one. It took me quite a while to figure that one out. It's not an easy puzzle. None of the puzzles in this series are. They're very challenging. I haven't got all of them yet. I've only gone as far as the Earth one yet. I do intend to get the full series at some point. And this was obviously one of the parts of that process. So I will, once this is scrambled, I'll go away and solve it. I don't expect to have too much difficulty, simply because I know quite well how to solve the Mercury version, and this is really based off that, basically having one triangle on the puzzle, one of the large centerpiece triangles, should I say, and that makes it very much like the solving of the Mercury puzzle. The difference with this is obviously going to be slight differences to the colour scheme with the roof section, which adds a little bit of interest. It's kind of like a shape mod and a sticker mod of the regular puzzle, which, as you will probably have seen in my other videos, are things I like anyway. So yeah, I'll call that scrambled. No, I won't. This piece is still all solved together. So let's just split that up. And yeah, now I'll call that scrambled. I'll go away, give it a solve, and I'll get back to you when I've done so. Okay, so the Bermuda house cube is solved again. Pretty much as expected. No real extra challenge compared to the Mercury Bermuda version, Bermuda cube version that I mentioned earlier. Solved pretty much the same, except we haven't got those Fisher style centres to worry about the orientation of that you have on the Bermuda cube, but you know, the orientation of centres isn't too difficult if you're used to working with super cubes. The turning quality of it is absolutely fine. With the scramble and a couple of solves that I've done, I've had no problems whatsoever in that regard since I removed that flashing, so that's all well and good. I didn't encounter any parity with that I mentioned with the identical corners. However, the one I did encounter was that I never mentioned in my earlier unboxing, was with edge orientation. I don't want to give spoilers away for anybody in this video, so just in case you're going to buy one of these, but there is a parity possibility with that one. But it occurred to me with these two pairs of identical corners that, of course, because there's two pairs, the final layer, as long as you've got two of them in, you can just put those in the correct position, so you don't really encounter that problem. I was being a bit disingenuous with that one. But yeah, it's a fun puzzle. I like this series. I think it's a great idea and a great design, not necessarily perfectly implemented quality wise. They do feel slightly flimsy, but nothing really terrible. But the whole series is the same, but they turn fine, so it's all good. So yeah, a great one to have in the collection. Looks quite cool too, I think, and we'll definitely be getting the rest of this series, but I already knew that anyway. So yeah, fun puzzle, not one of the more challenging ones in the series, but well worth having if you like to have different varieties of the puzzle. Alright then guys, that's it for this video. Thanks very much for watching, and I will see you next time.